Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Fireside Chat. What number are we up to? Do we even know?
285.
285. That is not Megan's voice. It's not Megan's arm. Yes. Where is Megan? She's on vacation?
It's true. She is.
She is taking a vacation? That is so wrong.
Very wrong of her.
Oh, I'm speaking to HR as soon as possible. Hi, everybody. Dennis Prager, the Fireside Chat. I get to talk to you about what's on my mind. You get to ask me what's on your mind. It's totally unscripted. Part of its appeal. Otto is not here. We even bribed him with food. So what did he do? He ate the food and then left. It's just wrong. It's morally wrong. But the conscience of an animal is not highly developed. But don't think that's anti-animal. The conscience of most people is not highly developed too. All right, we'll leave that for now. I've done a major video for PragerU on the conscience. So there's been a lot of looting and rioting, especially in Chicago, but it's all over in every major metropolitan city virtually. And just this past weekend, hundreds of kids in Chicago, then again a night or two later, stomping on cars, burning a car, bashing people's car windows in, and then this massive looting of Walmart. That was Chicago too, right? Yeah. And I'd like to address that. Brandon Johnson, the mayor-elect of Chicago, a man of the left, not a liberal, a man of the left, came out with a statement that he doesn't want us to demonize the youth because they're really lacking opportunities, and said after the 2020 riots that, look, people don't have enough to eat, and anyway, why don't we condemn corporations for looting the American citizens? Because they make profits and thereby they're looting. Look, the man is a Marxist, and that is how they look at it. Economics explains everything. So crime causes poverty. When I heard that, this is a personal statement. My thinking about life began in earnest in the beginning of high school. I started thinking about everything, and I didn't know left, right, liberal, conservative. If you'd have asked me the question, I would have said I'm a liberal. I was a Democrat. After all, I was a Jew in New York, so what am I going to be? A Republican? As I've often said, in New York, they don't any longer have sex fixed on your birth certificate. They have party as fixed, Democrat. You can transition to the other sex, but you better not transition to Republican. That is not acceptable. In any event, I began thinking, and the first clue, I remember it vividly, the first clue that I was not on the left, though I never thought I was conservative or Republican, until later. The first clue I had as to what I was that I was not, I guess, what would I have thought? I was not a Marxist or a communist. Well, certainly not communist. So I might have thought it's clear I'm not, I don't know if I would have used the term leftist as opposed to liberal, which I do today. I contrast liberalism and leftism. But in any event, I realized I was not a person of the left. I was about 14, and I heard the phrase, poverty causes crime. And I remember thinking, my grandparents on my father's side are impoverished. They really were. He supported them to the period. Without money from my dad, I don't know what they would have done. They were they were really poor. And I remember thinking, it's inconceivable to me that my grandfather would go out and rape or mug or hold up a bank or shoot somebody. The thought was so preposterous. And that is how I figured out that there's something wrong with the phrase poverty causes crime. Because I knew poor people who would never commit that crime. Now why is that? Why wouldn't my grandfather, I mean, it's silly to speak of my grandmother's not going to go out and do any of those things. So we'll talk about it because men tend to do these things. So why wouldn't he? I kept thinking. And that was the opening of my mind to the power of religion. Not that secular grandparents would necessarily have done it, but I knew that his being, in our case, a religious Jew, it was inconceivable that he would do that. Because, I mean, among other things, he believed, as I do, but he believed God said, do not steal. It's simple. It wasn't a negotiable issue. God, the creator of the universe, the master of the universe, said in the 10 Commandments, do not steal. That would have been enough. Anyway, that was my first inkling. And now when I hear the mayor-elect of Chicago, we can't demonize these kids because they're lacking economic opportunities. And all of these Marxist arguments reducing the human being to an economics machine. Homo economist is the way I think they put it, the economic human. Well, first of all, it's an interesting thing. Don't demonize these kids. What he really means is don't even criticize them. What does it mean, demonize? Is anybody saying they're demonic? Okay, I mean, so obviously he didn't mean it literally. He meant it really, don't even call them any names. What they need is more opportunity. That's what he said. They need more opportunities. They're looting and they're burning cars and jumping up and down on cars and ripping apart a whole Walmart because they lack opportunities. And what I don't know what those opportunities are. I'll tell you what they lack. They lack, and if you have gone to college, what I'm about to say, you will probably reject immediately because a brainwash takes place. It starts in high school, but it's more conscious in college. And I'll say it because it's true, even though I realize how much people will reject it on its face. They lack fathers on earth, and they lack a father in heaven. If you've got both, a father on earth and a father in heaven, the chances of your joining a mob to loot a store, burn cars, periodically even beat somebody up, are close to zero. Nothing is zero. There are kids with a father in their life and a father in heaven who do it, but that doesn't mean anything. It's if you're born with 4 fingers, it doesn't mean that the human being doesn't have 5 fingers. We don't use the rare exceptions to make any points. So whenever I hear guns, by the way, guns played no role in these riots, right? They did a lot of damage without guns. It's true they didn't kill anybody, although 2 people were shot in the weekend or the Sunday night. I mean, it's hard to keep up. It's almost daily now in Chicago. Whenever I hear the issue is guns, so here's a great question to ask yourself and to ask anyone in your life. And do it, if you do it gently and respectfully. I'm just curious, you tell your relative on the left. I'm just curious, which do you think would have a better effect on lowering violence? More gun laws or more fathers? It's a great question to ask. Okie doke. On to your questions. By the way, I want to remind you that we strongly urge you to watch the Fireside Chat at PragerU directly. Go to prageru.com and then subscribe and or get the app and then watch this regularly there, because we are afraid that one day YouTube will just, Google owns it. They are not at all committed to allowing dissenting views. And we are afraid that one day they'll just pull the plug on us. And that's why we encourage you to watch all of these things at prageru.com. So if you'd go there at this moment, because we have some very intense questions. The Fireside Chat is as important in the second half as in the first half, sometimes even more so. So go to prageru.com and watch the Fireside Chat. You could zip it right now and just see the rest of this.